Welcome everyone to Train Tuesday. I am your host, Jim with Athearn. So glad to have you on board. We are live from the Granite State, New Hampshire, and I've got with me tonight special guest Jonathan Miner. And I should say we're kind of we're the guest, and he's the host. We'll get more with information with John here in a minute, but let's see who's joining us here live on the broadcast. I see Dale is here, and I also see Ronald. DG Model Works is in the house. BN Green 1970 is here. We've got Charles, and we've got a bunch of folks here joining us on the live feed. And there's Chuck. All right. Joseph is here as well. So, hey, so glad to have you on board for this special Train Tuesday. Now, we're going to be talking about the 40-foot HO scale woodchip cars. And ironically enough, and just so happened that I had to do some work in my home state of New Hampshire, and the Athearn woodchip cars just came out. And of course, we did Boston and Maine. And we're not far from where these cars were loaded and unloaded in Woodsville, New Hampshire. So we're going to talk a little bit about these cars. They are in the hobby shops now. They just started shipping. So if you pre-ordered one of these, awesome. You might even be using it on your layout tonight. If you didn't pre-order, you're probably going to want to talk to your dealer soon because they are going to sell out quick. So let's do another round of shout outs. I see Ronald Bryan, Grasshopper, Terry LaFrance is here, Ronald, and Mr. David Reynolds from South Carolina. Thanks for joining us, as well as many more. We got about 63 joining us live. We've got some special things that we want to show you. And first, I want to take a moment and talk to John, who's the president of the Concord Model Railroad Club. Tell us a little bit about the club.
Well, thanks, Jim. Yes, the club's been around for a long time. We're actually having our 40th annual show this next August. I've been a member of the club since '91, and I've been lucky enough to serve as president for a couple of terms.
We
probably got about 20 members who show up on a fairly irregular basis. When we go to a show, we'll get, hopefully 6 or 8 people to show up. We do about 4 shows a year, including our own in August.
Nice.
So next time we're going out will be the Peterborough show on November 8th.
November 8th. And you guys meet in Pennacook, New Hampshire?
Yes. Yeah. Pennacook, New Hampshire, and the former Washington Street School.
Right.
So we're lucky we've got a room up on the 3rd floor, a little bit of a climb, but it's home. It's home. Yeah.
And you guys meet every Thursday, right?
Every Thursday.
Yeah. See, I told you I was a member. I should have worn my hat. And also you've got, you just had your 39th show at the Everett Center next year.
39th this year, a little bit over 800 in attendance, happy dealers, happy show attendees. It's a great venue.
Great. So yeah, next year will be the 40th. Seems hard to believe that it'll be 40, but if you are in the New England area, and maybe you can't make it for that great event, you also, this layout's not going to be part of the tour, but some fellow modelers in the club will be part of the Tour de Chooch. Tell us a little bit about that.
So if you're in New England, the weekend after Thanksgiving is the Tour de Chooch. That's been going on for a long time. Usually about 20 different layouts or more open to the public over that weekend. I'm on the tour every couple of years. This year I'm not. Ended up being on the convention, open house schedule, so took the tour off.
Okay. And then we had to use a Boston Maine layout for these cars. You can kind of see part of the layout here behind us. Tell us a little bit about your layout, what you're modeling, and the era and such.
So it's the Boston and Maine. It's in the late 70s. I grew up in southern Maine. My mother taught ice skating at the Biddeford Ice Arena, which is right next to the main line. So certainly mid 70s, I was watching the Bluebirds go by. I didn't appreciate them as much as I do now, but yeah. So I model in the late 70s. I model from the city of Manchester down to the town of Merrimack. So about 10 miles of real railroad compressed.
Okay. Let's see if we can kind of get a look around here. And looks like you've got I don't remember which overpass. Yeah, go for it. You can give us a tour.
So right here is kind of the Merrimack River. It's flowing south, kind of away from us. As we head north, we've got 293, And is it going to keep going
Yep.
around? The two Queen City Ave here, and then Manchester Yard is kind of behind where the camera is.
Okay. So let's see if I can get our technology to, there we go. So there you have it. That's a small thing of it. Now, you've been open before for open houses and you've done some operating sessions and stuff. So if you're in the New England area and you want to learn more about the Concord Model Railroad Club, you guys have a website?
We've got a Facebook page. We got a website. You know, we easily found by search engines.
There you go. So there you have it. Kind of a different Train Tuesday. And we're going to go ahead and get started with not just the Boston Maine cars. We'll be good. We'll do the other cars as well. But let's go ahead and get started. So if you're just settling in, go ahead and get the beverage of your choice. Relax in that workshop chair. And let's get started for another Train Tuesday. All right, so we announced these back in September of 2023. So there was a lot of demand for these cars. We did these in 2 4-packs as well as a single. So if you wanted just a single, you could get the single. A lot of guys wanted the 4-packs. And of course, there's non-duplicating road numbers here. And there's the artwork of the cars that we announced. Again, now if you pre-ordered these, you may already have them. But if you didn't pre-order them, you may have a hard time finding them. Because remember, I've told you guys in the past that we have really clamped down on the pre-orders. We're only pre-ordering what the dealers are ordering, and the only way you are insured to get those cars is to contact your Athearn dealer and pre-order through him. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cars that we have in this series that are delivering. So first of all, we're going to start with the Boston and Maine, and we are literally in the Boston and Maine's area. We're not too far from the old Concord yard, which is now CSX. And these Woodchip cars were spotted in Woodsville, New Hampshire. Really cool thing. If you get a chance and you've got YouTube up after this video, go ahead and look at the the Boston, Maine Historical Society. And they have done a really good video about Woodsville, New Hampshire. If you do a look on that, they'll talk a little bit about these cars. Now, one thing I do want to stress for the guys out there that are prototype minded, these are Athearn cars. So I don't want to say they're generic, but they are close to the actual prototype. They're not going to be dead spot on because they're under the Athearn line. If we were to do that, that would mean that every single one of these road names would be slightly different from the last. With the Athearn line, we're just trying to capture the feel of the actual prototype. And these cars come pretty close. If you look at them in pictures, you're going to see a lot of similarities. So, of course, the Boston and Maine use these up in the Woodsville area, which is northern New Hampshire. And if you know anything about northern New Hampshire or northern New England for that matter, you'll know there was a lot of paper and a lot of wood resources. So these would come in, they'd get spotted, they'd get loaded, and they'd get unloaded. And probably not a car that you see on your layout very much, especially in the 1970s. Yeah. So we did these in 2 4-packs as well as a single. You can see the car there. That is shown is the single. And like I said, all of these have non-duplicating road numbers. Coming up next, we've got Canadian National. This is a 1970s era car. You can tell because it's got that ACI label on the side. We did this on the single that you see here, as well as 2 4-packs. Again, no duplicating road numbers. Now here's one I'm not real familiar with, but it was one that we had. Product developers did some research on these and thought these would be really cool to model. This is the Apache Railway. This is a 1955 era car, but you could certainly model it well into the 1960s. We've done this as a single that you see here on your screen, as well as 2 4-car sets. Now here's another one that's close to my other home, which is in central Illinois. This is the Gulf Mobile and Ohio. So this railroad, I lived not too far from where their yard was. And GM&O is a road that we haven't done a lot of, but we did have requests for this. We wanted to go ahead and offer this. Here we've got the single as well as 2 4-car packs. Now, this is a 1967 era car and will be a really welcome difference in your roster if you want to add these. Southern Pacific, did they really have those? Sure, put them on your layout. They'll be fine. Now, actuality, Southern Pacific didn't have these. However, at least the research that I did, I didn't see those. But these are Athearn. Again, if we were going to go detail specific, we would go to the Genesis line. We wanted to give modelers something a little bit different. And these actually did sell really well in the pre-orders. So if you didn't pre-order one of these, you may be a little disappointed. We did these up as a 1950s era car. And the one that you see shown on your screen is a single, as well as the 2 4-car sets. Now here's one that did exist. And if you remember, we did, just recently, we did a, I believe it was a covered hopper that was a Weyerhaeuser. And of course, we've done locomotives in the Genesis line for Weyerhaeuser. Well, this was one that was extremely popular in the pre-orders. Really cool car. We've got the single, as you see here, as well as the 4-car set. And these are 1960s era cars. So they would match pretty nicely with a couple of the locomotives that we've offered in the past. The covered hopper that we did recently, that's more of a 1980s car, but you could still justify running this with that car if you wanted to. Now let's talk about the features of these. Again, remember, these are Athearn, so they're not going to be detail specific like the Genesis line. So John and I were talking just before the broadcast. The Concord Model Railroad Club, they have a modular layout, so they go to a lot of shows. These are great cars to take to that type of show. It's something a little bit different than most people have probably ever seen. I mean, let's face it, when was the last time you saw a Woodchip car? A lot of the public probably has never seen these cars. So if you're in a modular type setup, these might be the kind of cars that you want to add to your collection. Now, they do have the wood chip extensions that you can see. The wood chip load is removable. We'll show you that here in a moment. These do have separately applied wire grab irons and ladders, so that's really nice. You've got a little bit more detail than the roundhouse. And of course, you're going to have the metal wheel sets. The metal wheel sets will have the RP25 contours, so they'll operate on all types of track, everything from code 100, code 83, code 70, and so on. They are weighted out of the package. If you want to get them up to NMRA specs, you'll need to add a little bit of weight, but you can also run them as is. If you're just running them on your own layout, you don't have to worry about that. So as I've been saying, the 4-packs that are available, every single road number is different. So in the old days, a lot of manufacturers would just run the same car over and over again, and then you would spend a Saturday night re-decaling the road numbers. That's something of the past. You don't have to do that anymore. And of course, they are highly detailed and injection molded. They are really nice cars. These pictures do pretty good justice. I hope in the video that we're going to show you here in a moment, we'll even show you more of that detail. So in case you've been on the fence about picking some of these cars up, maybe that video will help you out. Now, the minimum radius on these, they're only 40 footers. So even if you have the smallest layout, you can run these on a 15-inch radius curve. So certainly my little layout, which has got an 18-inch radius, no problem. John, what's the minimum radius on your layout?
It's probably like 24, 26. A lot of it was just kind of arm's length, and that's where the track fit.
So John won't have any problem running these. So there you have it. There's the cars. I wanted to show you these. Again, these are going to hobby shops right now. In fact, a lot of hobby shops probably have these in stock. If not, talk to your dealer. If you pre-ordered these, contact your dealer if they haven't contacted you yet. They are going to sell out. So contact your dealer, whether you're fortunate enough to have a brick and mortar nearby or you go online. Last resort, you can probably still get these through Athearn.com. However, I do believe some of the road numbers have already sold out. So let's go ahead and return here and see if anybody's got any questions before we move on. And let's see. Glenn's saying, nice. I might have to use one or two of them. Yeah, there's something different. I mean, it's not my era of car, but since I like the Boston and Maine, I'll probably pick up a few of these.
really gives you an excuse maybe to backdate your layout for a night and bring out some of the older
That's a good
motive
point.
power. And
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good point. You know, it's one of those things that you could do, like John's saying. You know, John's modeling the 1970s. But if you wanted to go back to the Minuteman era, if you wanted to, or the early McGinnis era, yeah, you could definitely do that. Jason found, oh, I got to go back to, somebody picked out something. There's Jason. I'm going to put Jason up here because I'm going to try to put Jason up here. Jason, you made a typo on golf as golf, and the WTX would be great for the Truesville. So I knew, Jason, you'd like that. You're the only one that got the Easter egg. So when I was putting that together, I was thinking of a certain Volkswagen model, not the place. So Jason, you win. You got the Easter egg hunt of the night. Thanks for posting that. Stephen Wagner, thanks for joining us. I had a feeling you might show up. He's saying the Boston May models are prototypical. I have a less detailed one from an earlier run. The series was 7502 to 7519. The new models have real improvements such as loads, better detail wheels, and couplers. All of that is correct. If you look at them, you know, very, very specifically, you will see some details are not there. So if you're the hardcore modeler, you're probably going to see some of the things that are absent. But again, since it's an Athearn model, we wanted to provide you with these cars. But you're absolutely right. We did do some work on the molds, so they're a little bit more better detail. The loads are removable. And yeah, when you go to body mount scale knuckle couplers, that's a big improvement over those old horn hooks. Let's see what else we've got for questions and comments. Rick wants to know, do you have any New Haven and Hartford cars? No, not in this broadcast. Not magnetic. That's a good question. Somebody just asked, are these loads magnetic so that you can remove them and add them? They're not, but you know, it's real easy to do. So they're very light. It's a very light plastic, so it wouldn't be hard to do, but it's a great thing to do for operations. Let's see what other questions we have. Go back just in case I... Randall says, "What's this? Jim has somebody with him tonight." Yeah, I'm home, and this is my club president, John, and he's got a Boston and Maine layout, so we just had to bring the Woodchip hoppers here. And so, yeah, that's Randall. If you showed up late, that's why you're seeing double, I guess. So I'm so glad you could make it. Let's see what else we've got. Charles says, "I'm sorry I'm late. I just got here." That's okay. The good news about this is it will go to YouTube after it's live is done. That also reminds me, too, if you like the content that you see delivered on a weekly basis from Athearn, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video like this drops into the YouTube channel. And go ahead and comment. Now, technically, I'm probably going to be off tomorrow doing some stuff in New Hampshire, but I'm still going to answer your questions. So go ahead and comment. I like the interaction. And don't forget, we got Train Fest coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you're going to be in the Milwaukee area, stop by the Athearn booth, say hi to Mark and myself. We love talking trains. Let's see what else we've got here. Jake here wants to know, beat cars are going to be next. Yeah, they're going to be next. I don't have a date on those just yet. I'm hoping we might see something by Train Fest, but I'm not 100% sure. Randall says, "Cool, our club is currently having its October display right now at the fairgrounds. Be on the lookout for some Athearn power showing up soon." Thanks, Randall. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we've got up here. Without my mouse tonight, so I'm having a little bit of difficulty with the teleprompter here. Charles Wood wants to know, did I miss anything good? Yeah, you missed it all. Everything's good. Don't worry, Charles. Just go back on YouTube when this is done, and you'll see the beginning. Jeremy's saying, "I'll see you at Train Fest." Yeah, definitely, Jeremy. Stop by and see. Let's see what else. Rick says, "Any wood chip cars?" Yeah, we're going to show you some here in a minute. Let's see what else we've got. Some guys with some industry news, but not exactly within the Athearn realm. Let's see what else. I'm going to go back in case you guys are asking questions during the presentation. And keep in mind, too, I'm looking at comments below me. That's why I keep looking down. Again, if you're in a modular type club like John is, then these are perfect for taking out and showing folks. Because again, a lot of the general public probably have never seen a car like this before. Another thing that John and I were talking about before the show was, if you have an operating session, which John does that quite often here, the Genesis cars, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. But sometimes you probably have somebody that's a little bit rambunctious with the uncoupling, a little
clumsy, and it's nice to have a car that looks good and is sturdy. And I think these make a real good. It's a good compromise.
Good compromise. You've got just enough detail to them to satisfy most modelers. Now, certainly, if you want to go further, I'm sure you could take these cars in with the right pictures, prototype drawings, and detail parts. You could make them look museum quality if you wanted to. But for most of us, we'll leave them on the layout as is. We can have our friends over, we can have an operating session, and we have just enough detail to satisfy our detail needs without having to worry about broken cut levers and air hoses and things of that nature. Let's see what else we've got here. So Stephen is giving a shout out to John. So especially since Jonathan Miner's New Hampshire mainline isn't on the Tour de Chooch this year, I think he's disappointed.
Yeah. So we'll be on. We'll be on next year. It's actually, honestly, it's been a couple of years since I really even had the layout operating. And when the convention folks called me last spring, it took a little bit of effort to get some track cleaning. And I'm glad to have my layout running again. And hopefully, I won't kind of fall off the wagon and for too much longer.
We've all been there, folks. We know what it's like. It's hard. I mean, how big is the layout? We never really did say.
So it's probably like a 20 by 30. It's kind of, L shape. It started like 20 years ago as, one half of a garage. When I moved into this house, I was able to kind of expand it a little bit. And I'm happy that it's got a good ratio of track to open space. So you can, we can stand here in the middle of the layout and not be rubbing shoulders. I could have crammed a lot more track into this space, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. That's something that is very tempting to do always, but you didn't fall into that temptation. If you've got questions for John too, feel free to ask about his layout, about the club, anything like that. I'll take a few more questions, and then we'll do some video for you. Yeah, here's the question of the night. Hey, Jim, Norfolk Southern is on its way to becoming a fallen flag railroad. What do you think about that, John?
I really haven't followed it that much, but it seems like a good combination, would give a good end-to-end, for a couple of companies. Yeah. But I don't know.
Make sure my camera's still tracking here. No, there it goes. Yeah. Want to get John in there. We don't really know exactly what's going to happen there. I mean, Norfolk Southern UP, we'll see what happens. I did see another question here that I wanted to get to.
Somebody asking about a Woodchip trailer.
Yeah, that's Rico's asking about that. Maybe an idea for a Woodchip's truck trailer. I've seen guys scratch build those, but as far as I know, nobody's made one mass production. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. We might do something like that.
And certainly you see these modern, we've got a bio plant up in Bridgewater, and they bring in tractor trailer loads of chips.
George Emmett, I was wondering when somebody would ask about this. You're going to have to do a new locomotive, the Lake State Railway ST60M in the bicentennial paint scheme. Yeah, that is a cool, trust me, when I say the product development guys have been looking at it, we've all been looking at it. So
that would be the one that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that would be the one. It's a really gorgeous unit. I think you're going to see a lot from Athearn in next year for the 250th. So keep an eye out. You can keep an eye on social. You can keep an eye on our newsletter. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter, just go to athearn.com, go down to the bottom of the screen and put in your email address in the newsletter email box. It gets delivered every Friday and keeps you up to date on what we're doing, where we're going, what we're working on too. So you never know, that might come out in 2026. Charles Woods wants to know, hey Jim, will Athearn have a special show before this month is over? Well, this is one of them. It's kind of special. You know, it's not often I get to go home and do Train Tuesday. Usually I'm in Illinois, and but no, we've got more planned. We'll probably be seeing, you'll probably be seeing me on the road again. You'll start seeing some things on social media. I'm going to be visiting a club in Indianapolis for Train Fest. So keep your eyes on social media for that and our newsletter. I'll have more information about that soon. So yeah, I'm pretty much going to a different railroad every Saturday this year, it seems like. Let's see. Hey, we've got requests. Jim, please do SD45-2Bs and SD45-2 Santa Fe 90 style. Yeah, we did those in the 70s. We just released those last year because we did what I call the billboard or the bookends paint scheme. And we also did the bicentennial paint scheme, but we haven't done the 90s. So do me a favor. That's actually a really good suggestion, especially since we have the tooling, I think. Send us an email at athearn-productsuggestions@athearn.com. That's where we get the most of our ideas. And every year, especially this time of year, we're planning on for the next year, we look at what you guys want. So if you send us an email, we're going to look at those emails and say, wow, there's a lot of guys that want 1990s era Santa Fe. Maybe we should start doing that. Also, if you notice, every once in a while, we put out a survey. And that survey is going to ask you questions about what era do you model? What class 1 is your favorite? Things of that nature. That really helps us select models for the next year. So good question. Chris wants to know any updates on the ES44 8781. Unfortunately, no, I don't. We are still, I know you guys are tired of hearing about it, but the tariffs, we're still catching up with that. When production stops, it's one of those things where it's easy to keep it rolling when it's rolling, but when it stops, it's baby steps to get it rolling again. Now the factory is running at full production now. We're going to start seeing more stuff getting delivered. We're keeping our eyes on some topics, of course, that you've probably heard on the news, and we're doing the best that we can with the information that we have. But we're going to keep trying to get those trains in here because I know a lot of you guys, like myself, have been waiting for those trains, and I'm probably the most impatient person you've met. So you're not alone. Don't feel bad for that. Let's see what else we got here for questions. Kyle says, hey, how about some more 70s style freight cars? We're probably going to be doing more of those going into 2026. We've done some this past year. They've sold really well. So we'll be doing more of that. We're seeing more folks modeling the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even into the 2000s. So we're going to just keep doing things that sell. So be looking in 2026. You'll probably see more 70s era freight cars. Hey, here's somebody I was expecting to see tonight. It's Jason. Jason's just over there somewhere in Vermont. He wants to know any new VRS stuff on the horizon. I like how you put your employer and my employer in the same sentence. Honestly, I don't know. Janik has a really hard job of keeping me out of the product development area because he knows that if I see stuff, I'll get excited and put it out there way too soon. I honestly don't know if we've got any VR stuff coming out. Maybe in 2026, we'll see. But glad to see you on board tonight. Randall is saving up for those Frisco SD90 Max. Did you know the Frisco had SD90s?
I didn't.
They didn't.
That's one of that's certainly a road I'm not really familiar with.
That's not a road that he's. Yeah, no, that was one of our legendary liveries, and we get a lot of scoffers. They're like, "Man, I hate legendary liveries," but they sell. And Randall is definitely one of those ones that are into that. Railfan 1995. Get up there, Railfan. There we go. He's wanting some BN striped nose SD40-2s. Please go ahead and send us an email. All right. Oh, hey, here's one that's near and dear to our hearts.
Oh, hey, Colin, how are you?
Colin wants to know any updates on the run of GP18, specifically New England Southern 503. I've never heard of that locomotive. I don't know what it is. Wow, I've not heard of it. Now, in all seriousness, I really hope to have production samples at Amherst. So if you're going to be at Amherst this year, stop by the Athearn booth. We're going to be in the Better Living Center again, same place as last year. I'm pretty excited about it. I know John's excited about it.
I've got one on pre-order.
Did you actually operate that locomotive?
I've been in the. I haven't operated. I've been in the cab. Yeah, definitely dear to my heart.
Yeah. So we should be seeing those. Knock on wood. I'm hoping by the end of the year, beginning of 2026. They look cool as heck. Well, thank you. All right. Well, let's go ahead. And I'm going to switch our view here. I'll let him get those queued up while we're talking. And if you can still hear me when I go to the other camera does have sound. If you got questions, go ahead and put them out there. I'll try to answer them. So there you have it. John's pulling in with the empties. You should have sound now because I put myself back on the screen. We're kind of sharing the screen there so you can see. Getting some good compliments, John, on your yard.
Oh, thank you.
Charles, how did you not know I was a B&M fan? Probably because Charles in HO, I model a different road. In N scale, I actually model the Boston, Maine. And of course,
let me back those up so the empties are on the screen.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, for everybody that's watching, I'm going to put a trivia question out there. Since we are Boston to Maine, I want to know, what did Boston to Maine call their cabooses? Let me know in the comments. While we let these cars run by, I'm going to go ahead and give you a big angle of this, so there won't be any sound, but I want you to see these pictures. Okay. Stephen is correct. The Boston to Maine crews called them buggies. So a lot of railroads, you know, if it was the Q, they had a different, they called them way cars. Some folks called them hacks. The Boston and Maine crews, they called them buggies. Why? I don't, do you ever know where that came from?
I don't know.
I don't know where it came from. I just know that that's what they were called. So, Stephen, congratulations. You were the first to get that correct. I kind of figured Stephen, of all the guys, would probably know. He's a very knowledgeable guy in Northeast railroading. All right, I'm going to see if I can get a zoom in here of those cars. So again, while you're looking at these are actually really nicely detailed cars. They're not going to have the cut levers or the air hoses, but you're going to have the metal grab irons. Really nicely detailed cars. And again, the loads are removable. So, you know, with some work, like somebody was asking about earlier, you can put a magnet in those. And
yeah, I think that'd be easy. A little drop of epoxy and
yeah, I mean, it'd be real easy to do. So there you go. Let's see, we got some more comments. Terry says, very nice. As I get older, I appreciate the Eastern roads more and more. Yeah, there's something different about Northeastern rail. I don't know what.
You know, I think some of it is like New England railroading has always been a struggle.
Yeah.
And, you know, to see the B&Ms, you know, succeed and, you know, and kind of flourish despite the environment and, you know, the industries, you know, sort of kind of you root for the underdog.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So there you have it. These are probably at your hobby shop right now. So you're going to want to go ahead and contact your dealer. That's pretty much all I've got for you. Again, take a look at Concord Model Railroad Club. If you're a New Englander and you're looking for a club and a good group of guys to hang out with, you guys do a fair amount of shows that you set up your modules at.
Yeah, so we got our show in August, and then we'll do 3, sometimes 4 other shows over the course of the year. And we meet pretty much weekly. Business meeting, you know, first week of the month, and second week we usually get out to one of our members' layouts.
There you go. So it's a great club. If you're, like I said, if you're in the New England area, specifically New Hampshire, it's a good club to join. And of course, if you are watching this and you're from New England, hopefully I'll see you in a few months at the big show in Springfield, Mass. That's coming right up. We're going to be at Train Fest this year. If you're in the Milwaukee area, November 1st and 2nd, you can join me and Mark. We're going to have a booth there, and we always like talking to you guys. And again, stay tuned to our social media and our newsletter. I'm going to be in Indianapolis next Saturday. I'm running trains with those guys and having a meet and greet. So it's busy time of the year. Isn't it next month, National Train Month? I think November.
Yeah, November. Yeah, I think it is.
So we're off to a busy start. Yeah. We've got some good stuff.
Yeah, we always kind of see our show in August as kind of kicking off the New England show circuit.
Yeah, so, you know, there you have it. We got some new stuff coming in. We're going to be talking about some more items next Tuesday on Train Tuesday that are in stock. And, man, I hope you are at the workbench or at the layout getting stuff done. It's that most special time of the year. And looking forward to running some trains. So I'm going to let you guys go. Until next time, everyone, be happy, be healthy, do some good modeling. And above all, high greens. Good night, everyone.
High greens.